well, Leeds did do a number on Wigan at Headingley in the sort of back end of the season, but at home I'm gonna back Wigan. Wigan by 10.
You'd have backed them home or away.
Probably this time, yeah. But it wouldn't have been double figures if we were away. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sky and Channel 4. So again, you get to watch on both. And I don't know if Channel 4 will have the wonder that is Liam Farrell on their pre-match coverage again this week. But that meant I watched more of the Channel 4 coverage than I'd planned to outside of the actual match, because I wanted to see what the God had to say. Anyway, St Helens versus Salford, more importantly, this time around. Saints have had that week off, but do have some injury concerns. The biggest one is a fucking blow. Not for Saints. I don't really care about it in their perspective. I care about it that he's going to miss the World Cup for England. Alex Walmsley has been ruled out of the Rugby League World Cup with a foot injury. So it turns out the innocuous foot injury that he didn't even realise he picked up properly in the game against Wigan back in August is actually a broken foot, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. So we're definitely out of Saints playoff runs and also been ruled out of the World Cup. I think that's a real blow for England before we talk about St Helens.
I'm afraid you've only got yourself to blame, Mark, supporting a team like Wigan.
Well, we didn't do anything to him.
Wigan costing England the World Cup.
Also, though, they are confident of having Mark Percival and Sione Matautia back in this game from their injuries. Percival's missed most of the season. Matautia has been in and out through bans and injuries in the second half of the season himself. Will Hopewadi, that one's a bit more up in the air. I don't think there's anything concrete on that, but it wouldn't shock me if he's in the 21-man squad. But it wouldn't shock me if he doesn't make the line-up on Saturday. For Salford, we know about Brodie Croft. We talked about that. I don't think they had any other significant worries from the weekend. And I think even if they did, so many players are kind of mix and match replaceable with what they have in their squad, and the calibre of their players is pretty equal, and it's all about how they respond to Rowley's instructions on the day and the occasion that they're faced with. They'll have another big away support, because their away support is basically all of their fans go and watch them home and away. It's a real shame, like we've said, that they don't have that home fan boost that other clubs seem to have compared to their away following, but their away following is absolutely outstanding. So I am assuming they'll be very good and very loud again at St Helens.
Especially, St Helens isn't a million miles away for them either, is it?
No, exactly. I think if Hopewadi plays and they get half a game out of him, I think St Helens will be very hard to beat, because I think it'll mean they've got something in attack that they don't always have in the second half of this season. They do sometimes, they don't always. I think Percival being back in, will he be able to be full tilt Percival? I'm not sure, but having him and Makinson on the exit sets somewhat makes up for not having Walmsley, even though he's a huge miss. I think if Hopewadi plays, St Helens win. If Hopewadi doesn't play, I don't know who wins. I think Atkin will do a decent job for Salford, but he's not Brodie Croft. So I don't know. I'm going to go St Helens by 8.
Okay.
What about yourself?
So I'm really torn, because I hear the St Helens fans whinging, oh, we've got so many injuries. 4 players? Most people don't even speak about so few injuries. And I think David's probably going to really hate me after this show, because I feel like I've done nothing but slag Saints, which has been quite fun. But that injury to Croft is huge, I think, for Salford. But they are more than just one player. They're much more than that. But I do think it's really, really hard to call. I was more favouring Saints, but I don't know. I think just at the moment it's really, really hard to punt against Salford. So
Salford did absolutely batter Saints not that long ago.
I'm going to go Salford by 8.
And actually, let's have a look at the lineups from those games, because I have a feeling that there was some players missing in that. No, the only game Croft missed this year. This is one thing to be aware of, actually. The only game Croft missed this year, I think. No, he missed one Super League game, and the only other game he missed was Wigan in the Challenge Cup early in the season, and Wigan beat Salford 20-0 that day, and Salford didn't look at all at the races in attack on that particular occasion. But that was a long time ago, and that was a Salford side that were not a playoff contending Salford side anyway at that stage. They were a different Salford side. When they beat St Helens back in the end of July, so 6 weeks ago, Walmsley was playing. I wondered if he wasn't playing. They had Regan Grace, but they didn't have Makinson. They didn't have Percival. They didn't have Dodd, but they've not had Dodd all year. So actually there's nothing to take out of that.
No, there you go. I'm going to go for Salford by 8. Just
Salford
why not?
By 8. Fair enough. I hope that Salford get the same sort of start that they got in the Huddersfield game. I do think St Helens will have more resolve to come back into a game than Huddersfield have. But I think that will make for a fantastic occasion if that's what happens.
Yeah, I think it's I think both matches could go either way.
Yeah. Women's Super League, the promotion final is Warrington versus Featherstone. That's at 12:30 p.m. at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and then the grand final, which is on Sky, isn't it? York versus Leeds, Sunday 3:30 p.m. I think that one kicks off. That'll be interesting. I think the lack of Leeds missing Georgia Roach gives York a big advantage in this game, but Leeds, I think, have the best defence maybe in the competition.
Yeah.
And so it will all be about, can Peach and Stanley break down that Leeds defence, or can those Leeds forwards find a few offloads that might trouble York for me? So we'll see in that one. But yeah. I'm hoping York do, because it'd be nice to have a different winner.
Mm-hmm.
In the Championship playoffs, we're at the playoff stage now in the Championship. Barrow play Batley Sunday at 3 o'clock, and then Halifax host York Sunday 5:30 p.m. That one's on Premier Sports. York did have a big win, didn't they, going into the playoffs, but it was only against Workington, so I don't know if that's going to do enough for them to upset things. But Barrow and Batley is very closely competitive match, I think. Two different styles maybe, but it's hard to pick that one. I kind of think that one might have been the better TV pick, but we don't know. We don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Halifax only lost to Featherstone by 2 points, didn't they, at the weekend? And by all accounts, there was a slightly dubious try, which was the winning try. Yeah,
so I think Halifax will win quite comfortably against York, is what I mean.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Halifax will be bad to watch, don't get me wrong, but I don't think York have ended the season well. I think Halifax will
then, playoff rugby, we'll see.
I think it will be good to see Halifax against Featherstone again in the playoffs the weekend after. Both semi-finals will be televised on Premier Sports the weekend after. Then in the League One playoffs, North Wales host Rochdale. Oh, so their season isn't over. They must have got a second chance then from Wales. It's the 5-team playoffs, isn't it? It's the weird 5-team playoffs that I've forgotten about how that works. So they've got a second chance. They play Saturday 5:30 p.m. They host Rochdale. So this time, loser of that game goes out. Swinton played Doncaster Sunday at 3 p.m. and I'm assuming loser of that game goes out, but I don't know how it works.
Some teams will go out and some will carry on.
I think the winner of that might go through to the promotion final, and the loser of that might play the winner of the other game.
Right.
trying to think back to how the 5-team playoffs used to work 20 years ago in Super League.
Good
Anyway, I've set up automatic tweets for all of those games and Facebook posts and stuff for all of those games, so it should prompt you on all of those games to get your fan views in on that action. And do feel free to tell us about any other rugby league you've seen or followed along on radio or what have you, or your kids have played in or what have you, for us to talk about next week as well, because we enjoy all match reviews of all sorts. But that's our predictions. Our guess is complete. Okay, Sarah, time to wrap up the show. I'm hoping that the Quizmaster has rolled out a topic for us this week.
Well, I rolled out the topic. He provided the questions.
Okie doke. Combined Scoots team effort.
Yes. So I'm going to give you the playing history of a Super League coach who may or may not still be a Super League coach, but has been a Super League coach.
Okay.
You've then got to tell me which team. So this Super League coach has coached more than one Super League team. And you've got to tell me who he was the most successful with.
So you're going to tell me his playing career, and I'm going to tell you his coaching career.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
His name.
Yeah.
Number 1, he played for Dewsbury, Featherstone, Widnes and Rochdale.
And then he coached in Super League?
Yeah.
And they're the only clubs he played for?
They're the only clubs that my record keeper has found him to be playing for.
Dewsbury, Featherstone,
Widnes and Rochdale.
Richard Agar?
Correct.
Ooh. Okay.
So,
he coached Hull.
Yep.
He coached Wakefield, and he coached Leeds, and Leeds is where he won his only trophy that I can remember.
And in terms of percentage wins, which would you say he was the most successful at?
Percentage wins?
Mm-hmm.
Hull.
No, it was actually Leeds.
All right.
Leeds was 53%, Hull was 45%, and Wakefield was 35%.
So his really bad start to this year didn't cause as much damage to his record at Leeds as I thought.
No.
Fair enough.
He also coached York, but obviously they're not Super League.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that in case, somebody wanted to correct me.
They'd be correcting me. It was my answer.
This coach, played for Illawarra St George and Workington.
Is it Tony Smith?
It is. So where was he most successful as a coach?
Now this is tricky because he won the most trophies, I would guess, at Leeds. So having said that, he probably won 4 trophies. He won at least 4 trophies if you include the League Leaders Shield, at Warrington. It won't be Hull KR because he had that season where they were like bottom of the table. So his Super League success rate there would be low. And he didn't get them promoted, did he? He came in after.
Yeah.
So he did win the League Leaders Shield a few times with Warrington. I think twice maybe with Warrington, but he definitely won it at least once with Leeds. I'll stop overthinking it and I'll say Leeds.
Correct. 73%.
Pretty strong record.
Yeah, my researcher has made an error, but it was 68% at Warrington, 33% at Hull KR, and 22% at Huddersfield.
Yeah, of course. He went down with Huddersfield, didn't he?
He
and
did.
Then got promoted with them.
Yeah. However, he's never been the coach of Wigan.
No,
Just putting it out there, researcher.
Don't put him off.
Okay, so number 3, he played for Bradford,